Oh, thank God. Oh, thank you know what? Jesus, you're incredible. You're incredible. Um, oh, all right, guys. You know what? We're not. Oh, Min, you're gonna come on with us? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, can we request, Min, can you request to come live? All right, guys. Well, welcome to episode 2 of Content Strategy School for Realtors, and where we're going to talk about the best tools out there right now for content creation for agents. But in the last change of events, we have Min, who is the What's the Mortgage, the What's the Mortgage, hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of dollars of deals coming through his pipeline from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It looks like Min's gonna be able to join us. So
Right?
everyone,
Woo! Let's celebrate that.
oh, I mean, episode 2,
I,
Randy.
I know we're bringing the fire.
If you, I mean, it's no Brad the realtor, but it's freaking Min.
Right?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Good. How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm good.
Do you two know each other?
Nope, but we do now.
No.
Oh my gosh, this is even better. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, man, can you, anyone who's watching right now, can you give everyone, and we will link all of your stuff in the show notes so everyone knows where to go watch you. Can you give everyone like a brief rundown? Like how have you been in lending? When did you start creating content? And like what does your current pipeline look like because of content?
I started lending in 2003. Started social media in 2017. Currently in this market, we have about 45 million in escrow in purchases. We're pretty much 85% purchase, 15% refi.
And what
It all comes from social. I don't have realtors.
You don't have realtor. You're an LO without any realtor relationships.
Nope.
So
No. I
if
have one but I've known her for a long time. Besides her, I don't have any other realtors.
So here's the deal, guys. If you are a badass realtor, number one, you need to follow Randy's account, the Agent Success account. Number two, you need to go connect with Min right now because he's always getting pre-approvals and needing like an incredible agent in the area. So drop your city below and we can get that info over to him. But honestly, the best thing to do, Min, should they follow you here or should they go, what's a mortgage and be like, how do I work with you?
Well, if they follow me here, then of course, if they have questions regarding social media, I have my concierge team help me with my What's a Mortgage page. So if they message, they'll send them over to my Ask Me and Win page. So,
perfect. So
because
here's the best one.
Yeah, because the What's a Mortgage one is more for consumer. I'm consumer based.
So can I tell you a little like hack that I've been having some of my agents do?
What are they doing?
So not even agents really, but agents who are looking to get into relationship with more agents, right? Because I work with a lot of team leaders who are looking to like recruit other agents or maybe agent attraction play. And so I literally like on my content strategy for them right now, I'm like, you need to go, what's a mortgage? You need to watch Min's best videos. And then you need to tell agents how they can be doing the same thing about how they can be like, I don't know, coming from a place of like education and like you find the most incredible programs that like I feel like every agent should be talking about and they just don't do it. I don't understand it.
I don't. It's not about. It's kind of like as loan officers and realtors, we think we know what consumers want, but we don't until we talk to them.
Mhm.
So for me, I feel like I figured out what consumers care about. So a lot of people who have been copying my content to the T, they've gone viral. One of my close friends, he's my student too. Well, not my student because I'm not really coaching anybody. He took his audience from 2,000 to 11,000 in like 6 weeks.
Wow.
And so people care about their kids.
Mm.
So I do a lot of videos on Living Trust now. So
Yeah.
Living Trust builds the foundation. 401k builds the foundation. Mutual funds build the foundation.
Mhm.
People don't care about closing escrow on time. People don't care about things that you think they care about. They don't care about that.
Yeah.
They care about not being hustled, not overpaying.
Right.
So, I talk about more about that. If I was a realtor, I'm probably gonna do it anyways. But as a realtor, I would do what's called seller's net sheet all the time. Explain the LE on the buyer side. Things like
It's
that.
so funny. You and I have had a great deal of conversation around like the quality of person that you want to attract. So, not talking about how to save a down payment, but talking about how to protect your property and a living trust, right? You're just speaking to a different quality demographic. So it changes the conversation. And I think a lot of agents, we go for like the high view right? The ego play, the thing that makes us feel good, but then the pipeline never comes because they never get to the point where their content is actually like bringing in quality conversations. And you went through not a huge shift, but like where there was definitely like aha, it's like every time I talk about these specific things, quality people come through the door. How do you now, like every month, kind of map out what you're going to talk about to ensure that like those same quality leads are coming
I was
through?
thinking if you can help me out on that because like so lately I've been going viral a lot more. So the last 6 months, my virality is like at a different level. Like even though I have like 300,000 followers, I was getting like 50,000 views, 20,000 views. Now I'm getting more 100,000 views, 200,000 views, 300,000 views. I'm getting like higher views now.
I'm sorry, what are you at 300,000 followers on
Yeah,
Instagram now?
at 310. I'm
What were
pacing at this
you
pace. I was at 240 during the holidays.
what were we at when you and I first talked amplified stuff?
110.
Damn, that is
That's
absolute
I
insanity.
the
success
thing I
story.
learned from you is how to not I don't use your style, but I learned how to read my metrics.
Yeah.
So now
To lean into
I
your
figured out.
style and
Yeah.
your authenticity. Yeah.
So I took
Not to
the
be a mirror.
I took
All
the
of you all,
spreadsheet. Yeah, I took your spreadsheet and I so like and now through our grid, I only use my content now because other people are doing similar content, but I'll try something new and I'll put it on there and I'll see the grid and I'll see, okay, how did I it might be the same content, but I didn't deliver it that way. Now I have my same handful of hooks and it's not the hook anymore. It's cutting out the dead space. So I learned it's not the hook.
yeah,
It's about the dead space. So if you
yeah.
can cut out, eventually I learned, like, cool, it's not about the hook. That allowed me to be more confident in the way I speak. I have a minute. It's like I'm in an elevator with you, Lauren. So I have a minute to talk to you. I have to cut out the dead space and I have to
Hmm.
get you right away with
Yeah.
something. So, but I figured it all out when I started mapping it out on a spreadsheet, which I didn't do before you. So I think learning how to construct structure my day, structure my time, structure how to read my analytics is what like kind of 10x
I
everything.
was gonna say, what did your process look like before having that? Because I just find that we make a lot of emotional decisions, right? It's like, okay, that one got a lot of views. I should do something similar to that. But yeah, I love that you have just like put it on steroids. Just so you guys know, one of the practices we talk about data-driven content strategy, right? Is not only like exporting all of your past content, but also and then like how do you analyze it? What is truly powerful, not just views, right? What is actually driving traffic? And then also like when, you know, a lot of people when they're starting, it's the content of their competitors, like what's working in my niche. But what I love that you're doing, Min, is that you've identified that like I am already outside the box. So I'm competing against myself, right? And sometimes it takes a little bit to get there where people haven't tried enough different styles to figure out like what their like signature style is, but you've really like settled into that. And now it's just like continuous improvement on like what's
But you gotta
working.
have
But
the
before,
spreadsheet though. The spreadsheet changed everything. So I used to put things on Notion, but I didn't check the metrics on it. So myself, dude, I swear, Metricool should cut you like a check because I got anyone that does business with me has
Mhm.
Metricool. That I don't because I can't help them read their analytics unless they have Metricool. So because of you, I use Metricool. When I go speak, I talk about Metricool. So I use Metricool. My ad company, the company that runs up my ads, use Metricool. Anyone who works for me does Metricool. So they'll tell me now how the video did, so I can either duplicate it or change it. But
So
that with the spreadsheet helped out a lot.
this is a
And so now my
great,
stories 10x, like everything. I'm driving more traffic now because I learned how to read the metrics on
so
everything.
if you want to learn how to read your analytics, to analyze your analytics, do me a favor and drop me a DM and that says amplified right
I
now and
think
I'll
it's in
respond to you.
your first three videos about just setting up your metrics and about setting up your AI is not to insult you as your
I'm not
best parts of
kidding
everything.
you. I literally think I literally told someone this week, I was
The
like, I
first
think that
chunk
I should
was the
just sell
best.
that. I should just
That's the
sell
best
that
chunk
one video.
because
Or
you're teaching a workflow.
yeah,
It's like taking a
yeah.
1003 or a purchase contract. Like I'm sure every state has their own purchase contract. But you can close your eyes, you memorize your contract. You close your eyes on the it's not called the 1003 anymore. It's called I have not taken a loan application since 2018, so I forgot it's not called the 1003 anymore. It's called an ERL now, ERLA. And you memorize it. Same thing. So like I already know my metrics. I already know how I formulate my talking heads. I already know when I'm going to tell a story compared to when I'm going to like if you're going to buy a home or hey, what's the biggest mortgage scam? Then I tell the problem solution. But we have it memorized and we put that into our spreadsheet. Okay, how was the hook on this one? Okay, did we storytell? Did we point it out? So now I'm doing more illustrations now. So like I kind of figured it out. Like
I
one
love
thing,
the illustrations that
one
you
thing I
talked
learned
about.
from you on the metrics thing is this is what I do on metrics. If you're a loan officer, that's what I would do, Lauren. Grab the average purchase price. So I talked to a guy from North Carolina. His purchase price is $250 to $550. We reverse engineered the purchase price at 3% down, 3.5% down, 5% down, 10% down. We reverse engineer what the income level is. We reverse engineer the average rate, what they have in debt, so we can do different scenarios, different hacks, because it's creating buying power. So that's one of the biggest issues buyers have right now is not qualifying for what they want. So we reverse engineer how much debt they have to pay off, different tricks to pay down debt or to pay off or increase the purchase price, cover closing costs. What is closing costs in New Jersey is going to be different than California or nationwide. So now we're playing with numbers, but people
But you're
care.
speaking the numbers people care about, the number of people understand. Like sometimes when we're talking real estate, we spew at them like, oh, this is how much the house is worth. Like, well, what does that mean to me? And this, I really see this a lot with like my military relocation clients because, you know, being now living in Tennessee and growing up in San Diego, right? People would come, be stationed in San Diego. They're like, you want me to pay $700,000 for a house? And it's like, I never got that because I grew up there, right? But
Yeah.
then now being here, realizing that like the average purchase price is 250, like I would throw up in my mouth if all of a sudden I'm going to a city I don't know. And I don't know how long I'm going to be there. And you're telling me I have to buy a house that's 3 times more expensive than my parents' house? Right. Whereas if you can break it down into the information the consumer can process, where it's like, look, your monthly housing payment that the military gives you is $3,000 a month. The monthly payment on this home is $2,900 a month. So I know that the number seems big, but it's about what makes sense to you. We have to speak the numbers that the consumer understands. And that's a big jump that I've seen in content in the real estate space is like, stop talking about numbers that the consumer doesn't understand. Like put it in their everyday language.
Correct.
So I love that both of you are at a really high level. I just want to bring something like for the agent that's watching right now that doesn't have that huge profile and hasn't like hit the gold of unlocking like the analytics and understanding. Something that started this conversation was the type of information going out. And the power is not just in hitting the consumer that wants to be informed at a different level. It's actually in informing the consumer at a different level. So there's a switch that happens. People are watching a video to his point on, you know, like the saving for a down payment because that's the content that's going out. But at the moment that you stop talking about, oh, this is how you save a down payment and this is how you protect your family's legacy, or this is how you build generational wealth, or this is how you set up a trust, you've raised the bar of what they get to consume. And now that is why people come to you ready to work your way and willing to work your way, because now you've become a trusted resource that has just empowered them with information. And that is where all of a sudden a shift happens from you having to pull people across the finish line and say, oh, I know rates suck and I know $3,200 for an entry-level house is painful, but come on, you can do this too. No, we're strategically doing this because we understand what the long-term play is, right? And so the way that we actually change that conversation is by changing the content, and then we become the trusted advisor and not the person that gave them the watered down information that they could have Googled on their own.
So
Yes.
So I agree with you 100%. So I stopped talking about saving money for down payment. Stopped talking about fixing credit. I'm not looking for the viewer or the consumer that's in the beginning stages. I do that. I sprinkle that in, but most of my information, if you're going to buy a house, I always do my example, 740 credit score, 5% down, FHA, 660. So TikTok is audio based. Instagram is visual based. So the social media, like it will go out and find your audience for you if you keep saying a specific number, a specific profile, a specific scenario, and it brings you that. So people, when they come to me, they're not working on saving their money. They're just looking for, hey, let me see the numbers so I know what I'm like let me see the payments. Let me see other things outside of I'm preparing to buy a house. So I got away from all of that, and because of that, my quality lead has gone up.
I love it. Man, I have a question. So if someone was like, they've been dabbling, and I had this great conversation with an agent a while back, and she was like, look, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I know I need to either like be all in or I need to just be done because like checking the box is not working. My social's not doing anything for me. It's just become like stressful. So if you had advice for someone who's watching right now who really wants to build relationships with potential buyers and sellers in their community in the real estate space, what would your advice be to them to actually be able to turn this on as a pipeline?
I think for you have to decide, is there another choice? For me, there's no other choice. So the company I'm part of, they do something called lead ag where they can buy leads. I'm not a good closer. I'm a good opener, but not a closer. So because I know I have no other option, if you have another option outside of social, I would go with that option. Social is not you.
Really?
Yeah,
Don't
social
do
is
it?
not you.
Your advice is don't
If
do
you're if
it?
you're not all in on it,
This
then why do it? Why
is
if
content strategy school for realtors, man.
but no, but if you're not all in on it, why do? Because like
So
you're
stop
not.
yours is you're like, yeah, stop dabbling. Like
Yeah,
either
so,
fucking invest in figuring it out and doing it the right way, or just be okay with being done. All
yeah,
right.
you can't do it. How you can't do it? The era of doing it half-fast is gone. I'd say 2024 is the era of the BFF. When you started in 2017, if you're new to if social is so new, you can go on and sell anything. Then the era of the teacher, where jab 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 right hook is gone. Now it's the era of the BFF. To be someone's best friend forever, you got to be all in. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not all in, you're not going to convert it because think about so many other people are flooding the internet now to do social. You can't win somebody just selling them or providing information. You got to be their best friend.
I,
So unless you're ready to be all in as the best friend, you're not going to convert.
and so
So to me, I would make sure I'm all in on it. Like you got to be
I
all in.
I I literally couldn't agree more. I did a workshop on like don't be a content cow. Like how many people are putting out content and putting all this effort and energy into putting out content because it's the way that our industry has moved and it's become the norm, but there's no intentionality in it. There's no actual strategy behind it. And so now it's the nature of the real estate agent to have a spray and pray type method. And so we're going wide instead of going deep. And so to your point, what you're saying is like if you're not going to be intentional and you're not going to go deep, then don't do it, right? Like do something else that is actually going to be effective for you. And I think honestly, not that we want to, not that Lauren, we're trying to turn any agent off in content school for realtors here, but seriously, if you're just going to show up and you're going to be putting out content and you're not going to try to understand the consumer, deliver value, like don't do it. The last thing we need as agents is one more damn thing to do. That's the last thing. There's any day of the week that we can take 10 things off. And this is why there's so many agents struggling financially, because we focus 80% of the energy on where 20% of the business comes from, right? So if your business has never come from social media, you better be real damn intentional if all of a sudden you're going to pour all of your time, effort, and energy into social media to make it an actual profitable pillar of your business.
Here's the easiest way. If you want to go all in and you want to like, this is a cheat code of cheat codes here. I want you guys to do something. I want you guys to make a list of all the ancillary products that surround real estate. And want you to do duets only and share videos to lay a foundation around your page so social media knows who you want to be your audience. And then you can take Lauren's text on screen and put it on there. And then on the text on screen, add ManyChat to it so they can comment, and that drives up your video even further, and then do a little talking. So you're trolling to find videos to just repurpose. You're doing B-rolls, text on screen, and you're just having someone do a ManyChat really quick to when they comment something to download something, it drives up your algorithm. You can automate that. It doesn't require a lot of talking, and then sprinkle your talking in or talk only in stories. That is probably the lay down method if you want to go all in and not tie up all your time.
I mean, there's so many different ways to do this on a very effective like short, like low effort, right?
Yeah,
That's a whole reason why Amplify
that's a
got
low effort way.
started, right?
Yeah.
It's like low effort, low edit, the highest return possible on like your investment into your content. There's so many different options right now. But hey guys, if you, I've seen a couple people ask for the spreadsheet. If you guys want the spreadsheet or at least the training on how to get access to the spreadsheet, do me a favor and hit me a DM with Amplify and I will walk you through that.
Turn your phone off when you
Happy to.
do it, because I watched it so many times because I was trying to do it. Dude, you got to turn your phone off. The first 3 lessons, just focus on that shit. Go on YouTube, master Metricool, and
I'm
literally you'll
telling
start even
you,
creating your own spreadsheet.
the biggest feedback I think I get about Amplify is like after the first 3 trainings that someone takes, it's literally just like my mind is fucking blown. Like, first of all, I've been doing it all wrong. Sounds horrible, but like my mind is blown on how easy this can be when you're making decisions based off of data, not
Yeah,
based off
yeah.
of some guru who came up and like how we did. Like, no, guys, we're business people. Like, no offense, if you're not a business person, you're not an expert, then this is like not the course for you. Like, if you want to just like throw up some pretty pictures on Instagram, that's totally cool. But like, if you're like a legit business owner, who would prefer to like not be a full-time content creator, like you actually want to like get back to running your business, like you need to know what works.
Well, and just to simplify that, if you actually want to have business and not vanity metrics, because this industry is so focused on the vanity metrics, and I always have to have a conversation with myself, like, why am I doing that? Am I doing that for the award, for the recognition? We're a GCI driven industry. We don't even talk about NCI, which matters 10 times more than GCI. And so if you actually want to go into a program, not to get 100,000 followers, not to be the next influencer, but to get closed
Clients.
deals, real relationships.
Yeah.
That's when you decide to go in, right? Because I told you this the other day, Lauren, one of the agents that's in one of my mentor programs, she's like, I've got 83 YouTube subscribers, but she also in the same sentence said, I just closed a deal from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That was powerful. 83 YouTube subscribers, and she closed the deal. Right? How many agents would get distracted because they are focused on the 83 subscribers? And how many of them would possibly not be willing to stand up and say, let me teach you how to do YouTube, because they're going to go, well, I have 83 subscribers. Who gives, if you close the deal in your first 6 weeks on YouTube, I want to talk to you. I don't care if you have 83 subscribers, right? So the vanity metrics are what we don't want to follow.
If you're going to do YouTube and you're a lender, dude, it's not as complicated as you think it is. There's a girl, her name is Jennifer Beeson. She is, I think, the #1 female loan officer at Guarantee Rate. And if you watch her, she does only VA, so you might want to hit her up, Lauren.
Mm.
But she's the #1 volume loan officer, female loan officer at Guarantee Rate. And if you look at her YouTube, she just sits there and she talks. There's nothing that pops up, nothing like insane. Like I've never seen someone kill it. Most YouTubers on mortgage and real estate, they eventually turn into a lead distributor. They don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one I know that I'm talking to people that actually are doing it. So she's the one I would follow.
Nice.
Well, man, I think you dropped some like mega bombs here today. The first one being #1, like follow your numbers, right? I think that there is a couple of phases that content creators go through when you're an expert. The first one being like, how do I see what's working in my space? But you've graduated into like, how do I compete against myself now that I found my own voice, which I just think is brilliant. The second one being like the BFF era, like my mind is blown. I 100% agree. There
Right.
is, if you are not here to build a legitimate relationship, if you're not talking to your audience like you're their friend and building a community, then you are just looking for a transaction. And the consumer is smart enough on these platforms at this point to sniff that out, where they know when you're only providing them the content that can be Googled. And so it's like, why would I need you? You're gatekeeping, even though you think that you're giving. So I just love those two tips for anyone looking to go all in. And Mihn, do you have anything else you want to close us out with? Thanks for jumping on. That was amazing.
Of course. I know the only, like in your course, I don't know if you want to update it. That one part about the AI, one of the plugs doesn't work anymore. I guess they outdated it. But outside of that, I think my only thing is like, you gotta, if it's, like she said earlier, if it's a real business, you gotta like look at what you're investing in time and in content where you put on a spreadsheet. Like, so I was putting out content for years and I couldn't figure out, and I'm thinking, I don't know why I can't go viral consistently. I started going viral consistently because now I know the product that I'm selling.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do the spreadsheet, honestly, I think she talks about in there, like grading yourself. it's ugly sometimes. In your mind, you thought it was good. When you grade it, like, man, I thought it was good, but it wasn't that good because the numbers don't show that was good. So even though I wanted, it's like you own a sandwich shop, you keep buying the same bologna sandwich and no one's buying it, but like every week you're like, you're not paying attention that no one's buying that same bologna. So why do you keep ordering from the butcher shop?
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, you know what? I might like the bologna, but no one else likes the bologna.
But
So
bologna
it's kind
ain't
of,
feeding my family.
that's
Everyone
correct.
wants the turkey.
So the spreadsheet told me like, hey, your shit stinks. Like you might think like in your mind you're like God's gift to mortgage or real estate. You're not, and it's like you got to start pulling that shit out.
But
my
what
gosh,
it
man,
really taught you, Min, is it took you from McDonald's, right? Of like, you can do all of these different things, right? To fucking In-N-Out. I don't have to do all of these things. If I just do these 5 things really, really good, people are
more
just
with
going to keep
less.
coming back.
Oh,
More with
And
less.
yeah.
so that's the transition I think that takes place, is that you realize like you don't have to be that New York City diner that offers like a million different options.
Correct.
If you are good at delivering, like what are you good at delivering? What gets the desired result? And how can we show that in a multitude of different ways that is always delivering value to your consumer and building a relationship?
And one thing I did go through your so the spreadsheet is the key, guys. Follow the spreadsheet. First 3 lessons, you got to watch it over and over again. Spreadsheet. For those of you who do want to cheat the system, use the AI. But the most important thing is you want to try a bunch of different things in the beginning. So it's going to cost you a little bit of money because you're trying all these different things. And eventually your spreadsheet will tell you the content that works for your audience.
Right.
I got rid of my media teams. Like, in October, I got rid of everybody. I do everything myself now because I already know what works. I stopped it, all the crazy editing, everything. Because I tried so much on the spreadsheet, and then every once in a while I want to try something else, and it'll tell me don't try that anymore.
Don't,
You know,
yeah.
so you got to do the spreadsheet, try everything under the sun, document it all, and then remove the stuff that you don't need. And because if you try a bunch of different ways, you're just burning through money and time, and you're messing with your head because you keep trying and it doesn't work. I'm like, man, why I keep doing this? You know, it's like a compulsive gambler. When you know it's not you're gonna get an L on it.
Yeah.
You know what else though that you said that was really powerful was you talked about how you felt. And I think that this is where else the consumer can see through the lines is right now in a content driven, society. Everybody's getting scripts and getting information from other people. And then they're kind of, for lack of better words, regurgitating them. And so it's like we're putting them out there and there's not a level of passion and conviction. Like something that is just making my blood boil right now is the fact that I believe we're trying to be turned into a nation of renters, right? And that I believe, yes, I understand you got to hurdle with a $3,000 payment, but if you don't take this $3,000 payment, I don't think homeownership is happening for you in 5 years, right? And so when you start to talk about things with conviction and passion, like I also think that the data probably showed you, like when you showed up and you felt that what you were talking about, the consumer feels it. And that's what turns people into your BFF when they're like, well, they actually care. And so that's another piece of gold. Like if you're sitting here and you're like, where do I start? Start by putting out one piece of content that you're actually passionate about and that you can actually speak to and stand behind instead of 15 pieces of content that are somebody else's information regurgitated.
100%. 100%. I don't believe in scripts, like, because scripts are going to run out.
Yeah.
And everyone else is using the same script too.
100%. Us 3 have had off camera conversations about this in a multitude of different ways, if we all pick up what Lauren's saying right now. But yes, if you are buying a program where someone is going to give you scripts and not teach you how to, here's the thing, if Mihn would have taken that time and invested into a program with someone who gave him scripts, he'd still be paying that person right now. Instead, he said, I want to learn how to turn the Mihn machine on, right? I want to learn what was my best content, was my, that's the name of whatever course you end up selling someday.
No, watch, guys. So I cheated the system. So when I bought Lauren's system, I paid someone else to learn it first, and then I wasn't going anywhere until I actually. You could tell the difference because you can see my activity picking up. Then I myself, because I have two people working for me, so I'm like, you know what? F this. Let me learn this shit myself. I'm like, why is it not working? Yes. They don't have a passion for it. I'm like, you know what? And so I started watching the videos myself. So it seems like I'm watching the same video over and over again. I'm not making it through her lessons. Then I started doing it myself. And it's like, okay, it sucks. I got to do it myself. But until you know it yourself now I can have people do it for me because I know what I'm looking for. but you've
Yep.
got to do it yourself.
You gotta be a
You've
part of
gotta
the
do it yourself.
process. Yeah. All
Lauren,
right, guys. Well,
did you put Mihn up to like? I
I
feel so
actually-
seen. I told Lauren
This is-
yesterday. I was like, I just got to do the damn work because Mihn, the same thing. I told my VA, I was like, okay, go watch this and figure this out, and then they come back, and I'm like, it's just not. Yet you're 100% right, and you got rid of your team. Like at the moment that you're the person in the mud, there's just certain things in this business that we can't scale out of. And if we want to be people's BFF on social media, we can't scale out of that. Like we're not going to become somebody's trusted resource when our team is putting our content out. It's not going to happen.
But it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort. I mean, how many millions of people have now met you through this platform, who now have a like personal relationship with you? How many leads has it driven? Like there's just no other place in the world that you can put out something for free, right? And you can get like a return on investment like that of time, energy, and effort, but you have to take the time to learn. Well, guys, if you're asking about what the hell is this spreadsheet, it is actually the third training. It's the third training in Amplified, which is called how Power Reels, which is essentially how to find your most powerful piece of content for you and your competitors. So if you're interested in that, hit me in my DMs right now with the Amplified. If you dropped it in the comments here, I don't get that, guys. These are all going to go away. So you got to DM me right now, and we'll get that info to you. If you are listening to Content Strategy School on our podcast, go ahead, go down to the show notes, and we will have all of Mihn's information listed, so you can go and follow him and reach out to him, because you're just such an incredible resource. I think that a lot of agents can learn from watching you, not only from like a how to get to create content space, but like a I should probably be educated on this as an agent space. Right. So I just don't think that there's a bad follow in that bunch.
So good.
But thanks for joining us, Mihn.
No worries, bye.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.